3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, welcome back to the weekly podcast called Pie and Friends. Today we're going to be talking about the blog post that I'll be making. More actually about coronavirus and the SARS-CoV-2 outbreak currently going on in the United States and around the world. I have a guest with me, a guest speaker. His name is Jacobo Cortez. Please.
Hello. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, no problem. So today we were really going to talk about COVID and the media's response. And, I really think that nowadays it's safe to say that, getting the info out there, making people realize the dangers of COVID, the media is helpful. But back when this outbreak first started, it was readily apparent to almost everyone that was in the scientific community that we just were not prepared in terms of both our government as well as our mass media sources that were spreading just pure speculation. You got anything to say?
Yeah, I think they were definitely putting out a lot of false claims and stuff, and a lot of that was made apparent from it being put out by the media.
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually, what do you think about hydroxychloroquine? So when this whole first outbreak started, hydroxychloroquine started being, marketed, sold as some sort of preventative drug that could help those. It's actually been proven now by the FDA that it has little to no effect on coronavirus patients. And it actually, in fact, it inhibits breathing in some cases, in some patients. And SARS-CoV-2, the main killer is respiratory issues. So this is actually doing more harm than good, whereas the media is painting it as a viable treatment.
Yeah, I heard about actually an old couple that took hydroxychloroquine, but it wasn't the
correct form?
Yeah, it wasn't the correct form, because the media said that, it helps prevent, and they put out these false claims, and as a result, this old couple did it and they died. And so that's why it's really important that we need to get backing from the FDA. FDA needs to approve shit before.
Yeah, please, this is a PG-13 podcast, so please don't swear. But so yeah, dude, that was crazy. That couple, I heard about that. Yeah, they quite literally killed themselves with it was cleaner. It was in cleaner. Leading into our next subject, I actually heard from numerous sources. One of my colleagues, his name is Artem Mikolovsky. He actually was arguing to me that suicides from lockdown were actually going to surpass COVID deaths, because whereas there might be people infected with COVID, not very many people will die. Well, this is what he argued. And I just kind of wanted to bring up how that's kind of a mass media story going around that is inherently false.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'd love to see the numbers on that.
Yeah, so actually the reason for the suicides, he argued, is the recession caused by the lockdown. Whereas data showing, from the 2014 recession in Obama era, suicides raised by 10%, and it wasn't even, you couldn't tie that to the recession even. Whereas with COVID-19, we have almost 100,000 dead. Whereas I think the average for 2017 was something for deaths was 47,000. So that's just inherently false. Another thing I'd like to touch up on, I don't know if you know this, but this is interesting. So these names that we have for this virus, there is, the slang term coronavirus, there is COVID-19, and there's SARS-CoV-2. So COVID-19 is the disease caused by the virus, SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2 is the name of the actual virus that causes the disease, and coronavirus is the label, the slang term for SARS-CoV-2, which is very interesting because, when I was writing this post, I was really reading up, and all my lingo was just getting mixed up, and I'm really glad I got that, settled. Now on with the podcast about Mass media sources. You heard about Abbott, right? What Abbott was doing?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, Abbott. I guess I'll just refresh your memory, but Abbott they started mass producing these testing kits and handing them out to testing facilities, and it was actually endorsed by the CDC as well as the Trump administration. And a little bit after they were released, the FDA actually said these results that we're getting off of these tests aren't actually that accurate. And they released a statement to the public saying you should watch out for these Abbott tests. And it's just incredible that these Abbott tests got so much backing and so much, viewership online from these media sources that were marketing them. And the things don't even work. They don't even work. It's crazy. It's what's the next thing to market? How do I sell it? How do I get people to buy it?
People have to buy that too, and it doesn't even work.
And they're done there. They don't think about the aftermath. Okay. What these big corps need to realize is if the consumers keep dying in droves, I'm saying the consumer that spends the most is obviously the old person, in my opinion. And their biggest customer base is very at risk.
I agree, yeah.
Okay, well, I think we're out of time for this week. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure as always.
Next week, we will be having our new guest, Max Levy. He is a student at UCR, and he's going to tell us about how they have responded to COVID-19 in the UC system. All right, thank you. This has been Samuel Zarling with the Pie and Friends podcast. Signing off.